Welcome to week 4 of the video presentation series. This presentation includes 17 clips. I want to thank everyone for spending the time watching these clips, as I feel that watching the film week to week, I feel that our officiating mechanically is getting better, and I can attribute a lot of that to people watching these films and applying what they see and making the corrections to things that they may not be doing. So thank you for what you do, and we will get right into clip number 1. In play number 1, we are going to have good communication between the linesman and the back judge before ruling a touchdown on this play. This is a 5-man crew. And the play is going to go toward the linesman's side of the field. And there will be an end zone view on this play also. But the linesman and the back judge do a good job of making eye contact, making sure both of them have a catch for a touchdown before going up with the touchdown signal. This is good officiating. On play number 2, this is what we want to see on dead ball fouls. We want the calling official that throws the flag to stop the clock. And if one of the officials is stopping the clock, everybody on the crew needs to echo the stop the clock signal. So this is really good dead ball officiating. Great job by this officiating crew. In play number 3, we are going to have a good defensive pass interference call. We know face guarding is legal. However, contact cannot be made when face guarding, impeding the receiver's path to the ball. So we had face guarding here initially, but then there was contact made by the defender on the receiver, obstructing his path to the football. So this is a good defensive pass interference call. So as we slow it down, we've got the face guarding initially, but then we have the contact, and then the obstruction of number 4, the receiver cannot get back to the football. Good job by the back judge here on this defensive pass interference call. On play number 4, we're going to have a good false start call here. The running back misses a snap count, so he simulates snap action. Now, some coaches may say that the running back could go in motion, but if in your judgment the player misses a snap count, then this is a false start. So this is a good job of the crew shutting this play down and penalizing correctly. On play number 5, first take note of the really good film quality here at Chapmanville High School. Film quality has come a long way, and this is very, very good, clear coverage of the game. Here the snap is inside the 5-yard line, so the mechanics for the wing officials is to go to the goal line immediately as soon as the snap occurs. So the linesman here does a very good job of this mechanically, and he is in great position to rule on if the ball breaks the plane of the goal line on the stretch of the ball carrier extending the ball out to break the plane of the goal line. In play number 6 is another example of good goal line officiating. The snap is inside the 5-yard line. So the linesman here is going to go to the pylon immediately at the snap of the football to rule on a touchdown or not. So this is good officiating. So keep up the good work. In play number 7, we are going to have a good intentional grounding call. The passer is not outside the lateral boundary of the free blocking zone, and he throws the ball away to avoid a loss of yardage. So this is a good job of the referee penalizing this for intentional grounding, which is a running play. So the basic spot of enforcement is the end of the run, which is where the passer throws the illegal forward pass. There's a 5-yard penalty and carries a loss of down provision. In play number 8, we're going to have a good job done by the line judge and the field judge here. The line judge will have forward progress up into the 2-yard line in the 6-man mechanic crew structure. So this is a nice job of him giving up the forward progress spot inside the 2 to the field judge, who is right there in the proper position with the snap outside the 10-yard line and inside the 20-yard line, being at the goal line pylon, to rule on a touchdown or an out-of-bounds situation which occurs on this play. So good job by the guys here. So keep up the good work. In play number 9, we're going to have an illegal formation on a punt play, as we have 5 players in the backfield. Now this was not picked up by the officiating crew, so we must be able to recognize these illegal formations when they occur so we can penalize them correctly. You're going to clearly see that there are 5 players that head or foot does not break the plane of the waistline of the snapper, making them in the backfield, making this illegal since there are more than 4 players aligned in the backfield. In play number 10, we are going to have a field goal attempt that gets blocked. So we must communicate as a crew of officials that when we have a field goal attempt, if we get blocked, the play is going to remain live. Now we know this is different than if it is an extra point and a try for point by kick. But a field goal attempt is a scrimmage kick just like a punt, even though it can score. So my question here is, did we communicate this before the play? This is where radio communication between the crew members is very important. So if you don't have it, I would strongly consider getting it. But here we have an inadvertent whistle, and it occurs during the kick prior to Team R gaining possession. So since we have an inadvertent whistle during a kick, the only option that we have, and there is only one option, and that is an automatic replay of the down. Even if you don't have radio communication, make sure that you yell out to your other crewmates that if we get blocked in this situation, the ball will remain live. In play number 11, we're going to have an example of good reverse mechanics by the line judge coming out of the end zone. Here the snap is inside the 5-yard line with the offensive team on the 2 coming out. The mechanics here for the wing officials remain the same. When the snap is inside the 5-yard line, you want to move to the goal line immediately on the snap. In this case, you would be ruling on if you have a safety or not. So this is a perfect example of the line judge of doing this correctly. As soon as the football is snapped, he will work his way back to the pylon and then officiate the play back out into the field of play. In play number 12, we're going to have an offensive pass interference call, which is a good call as you're going to have a Team A player blocking downfield on a forward pass that crosses the line of scrimmage. Now, we want you to take note here that the previous spot is on the left hash. So after we enforce this penalty and replay the down, we should also be back on the left hash, as this is a loose ball play foul with previous spot enforcement. So the previous spot is on the left hash. So even though the interference is going to occur in the side zone on the linesman side of the field, we must penalize back to the previous spot. So the replay of the down will occur on the left hash mark. So as this play develops, the player that will be blocking downfield is going to be highlighted for you, so you can see the illegal act of blocking, knowing that a forward pass is about to come. You will see the team member in brown or black initiate the block. The ball crosses the line of scrimmage. Now take note of where the next snap occurs from. That should be occurring from the left hash mark after penalty enforcement. So good job picking up the OPI, but let's work on our penalty enforcement to make sure that we have the basic spot in the correct enforcement spot. In play number 13, we're going to have a good job picking up an illegal formation on a punt play, as this is the same game that you saw earlier on a previous play where there were 5 players in the backfield. So this time the officiating crew did pick up this foul and recognize it. So remember here we have a foul by Team K. So one of the options for R is they are allowed to tack the 5-yard penalty on from the dead ball spot after the play is over. So make sure that you give Team R this option. Do not let them decline this foul, as the options would be to go back to the previous spot, mark off 5 yards, and replay 4th down. Or most of the time, the receiving team will take the 5 yards added on from the dead ball spot. So make sure that you give them the options that they should be given in this situation, and do not let the coach for Team R decline this foul. Make sure he knows that he can take the extra 5 yards from the dead ball spot. On play number 14, we are going to have a scrimmage kick, a punt that's going to cross the sideline in the air. So this marking of where the ball goes out of bounds is the responsibility of the referee. The covering official needs to go down past where he knows the ball crossed the sideline, walk back up the sideline with his hand in the air, and make contact with the referee, who should also have his arm up in the air, and he will chop you in at the spot where he picked up the flight of the football crossing the sideline, and this will be the dead ball spot for the next play. So make sure that we are discussing in our local association meetings the correct mechanics for punts that go out of bounds in the air. Now, if this would have gone across the sideline on the ground, then it is the full responsibility of the covering official to spot it where it crosses the sideline. But here, the kick is going to come straight at you, and you will see it cross the sideline in the air. But take note that the deep wing does not make eye contact with the white hat, so he is guessing where it goes across the sideline, which in reality is really what the referee does as well, but the referee has a good perspective of it. So this is just the proper mechanic on how we want to mark scrimmage kicks that go across the sideline in flight, so we can get the spot for the next play. In play 15, this is actually just a still shot. It's not going to be a video play, but what I want you to look at here is I want you to look at how nice the linesman's restricted area is prior to the snap. There is no personnel, players, team personnel, coaches in the white restricted area as the snap is getting ready to begin. So this is what we want, and we put a lot of emphasis on this year, and I appreciate everybody enforcing this rule. This will save you and other people from injury, as we did have the one unfortunate season-ending injury that occurred in week 1. If you remember in the video presentation where the wing official and the ball boy got their legs tangled up, and it resulted in a torn Achilles injury to the official. So once again, nice job here. This is what we want our restricted areas to look like across the state. In play number 16, we are going to have good positioning of the side judge. As the snap is inside the 10-yard line, the field judge and side judge initial position is on the back corner pylon of the end zone, and by positioning yourself here, you are able to make a good, accurate call on catch, no catch situations in the corner of the end zones. So this is a nice job here by the side judge, making sure that you have possession of the football, and the player got his foot down, kept control, and then the side judge goes up and rules the score as a touchdown, which is the correct call on this play. In a 5-man system, this could be a little difficult to possibly rule on. Maybe the wing official, the linesman may get blocked out, and the back judge may not have a good perspective from the middle of the field, seeing on if he got his foot down in the corner of the end zone. So 6 officials is better coverage than 5 officials. And the more film that I watch, there are a lot more deep passes thrown deep sideline than there are deep middle of the field. So I realize 7 officials would be better than 6. But I do feel that having the deep wing officials, field judge and side judge on the sidelines has been very beneficial to making sure our pass coverage is better. On play 17, which is the final play of this week's video presentation, we are going to have an interception that is going to be returned for a touchdown. And after the touchdown, we're going to have a dead ball personal foul. Now, this appears to be a horse collar tackle, which we know that horse collar fouls we enforce as live ball. However, since we have a touchdown scoring play, the scoring team will have their option of taking the penalty on the try or on the subsequent kickoff. However, what we're talking about on this play and what we want to emphasize is what should the play clock be set at for the try for point. And I've gotten some calls from around the state regarding this play, which is why I've added it to the presentation. So since we have a defensive foul, with the rule change for 2022, the play clock is put at 40 seconds. However, since we are going to the try for point, the rule book states that for try for point attempts, the play clock will be at 25 seconds. So even though we had a foul by what would be Team B in this situation, since we do have a try for point, the play clock will be set at 25 seconds for the try for point to take place.